So
Episode 134 of the 35
135.
of the Partial Breakaway Fantasy Hockey Podcast. We are back as one this week. Welcome back, Vince and Nick, to your seats.
Thank you very much.
To our seats. I mean, you couldn't come up with something more creative? What happened to that podcast school you were going to?
Listen,
Stop going.
You stopped
Jun-
going. You stopped paying for it. That's what you did.
Junior's
To
gonna
your
be off.
thrones.
Junior's gonna be off all episode because there's no music. Everything got confiscated. We feel naked right now.
Yeah,
Yeah,
there's just for everybody listening at home. Uh, we don't have a soundboard because it's being repaired or investigated or whatever you want
it's
to
being
call it.
analyzed. The
Analyzed.
insurance confiscated it to analyze to what extent there was water damage.
We're doing it remote because there's no floor in our podcast room. We would just fall down the earth into the core. Um, we don't have the camera, so we're all doing it from remote from our phones.
I
And
don't even have my laptop.
and Junior doesn't have his laptop. So I'm co-host Nick. That's co-host Junior in the middle of your screen if you're watching on YouTube. And all the way on the left, you'll have producer Vince, who is currently trying to get his wife out of the room so we could actually do the podcast without some background noise. But if you do hear things, ladies and gentlemen, we do apologize. Producer Vince's wife is still new at this podcasting thing, so she makes
Exactly.
great cakes, though.
Phenomenal
Guys, how
cakes.
was your vacation? Well rested?
No, no. Not when you go with kids. How are you well rested when you go with 5 kids under the age of 5?
Well, I
Well,
don't know. You guys had time to make like four blockbuster deals while you were on vacation. I don't know.
that's very true. At least I did. But the first 3 or 4 days is just chaos. The kids are just going crazy. They're out of the routine. They don't know what's going on. And I think the last couple of days is when I actually relaxed a bit. Um, but yeah, then you're back home. It's gone.
Yeah,
As
yeah,
fast
Just
as
like
you
that.
went in, that's how fast you're back out again.
Was there any sun? You look like you didn't even take any sun.
yeah. Because Nick was afraid, so he put or his wife. So he put
Yeah.
E60 sunscreen for 4 days.
Ah, you just
So
wanted her to lotion you, eh? Is that it?
I don't think she even did lotion me. She lotioned Vince more than me. We'll have to talk about that. We need a whole other podcast to talk about that.
Did you guys? Okay, I have to tell you, it's really weird doing it alone. By the way, it's really weird. It's really hard, but I
You did
got
a good
through it.
job, though.
But
You did a
I'm
good job.
really glad. I'm really glad you guys are back because the dynamic is much better this way. Did you guys at least follow us on Instagram, X, and TikTok to catch some clips, or you didn't even have time?
Well,
Nick
I
listened to the
definitely.
whole podcast while I was taking care of the 5 kids. He literally sat in the cabin where they serve food with his phone to his ear, listening while I was in the pool with all 5 kids.
Junior, you know me. Quality control is important for me in this podcast. So,
You're
uh,
dedicated to your
yeah,
to
Yeah.
your task.
exactly. I didn't have time to jump in the pool and just have fun like Vince did.
So was the podcast like 3 hours? Because that's how long he stayed under the hut.
Yeah, it was 3 hours. I still went an hour and 8 minutes. Go figure. I thought
Now
you
you know
guys were
you,
getting out for
now
that.
you know you talk too much.
Yeah, no, I
Well,
know I
we know
talked to.
who the person is that's at fault for this podcast going over. That's for sure. That's for
Exactly.
sure. But it was really well done, Junior. Like, it's not easy to do, right? Like doing solo and not having anybody to play off with. You did a great job, so I'm happy
Thank
about
you,
that at
thank you.
least.
All
And
right, enough recap. Yeah, go ahead.
I was just gonna say, do you want to like sing the Odd Man Rush song since we don't have
Oh,
a
the last time we
soundboard?
did that, we butchered it.
Yeah, I think we lost some listeners, so we just better off just saying this is the Odd Man Rush.
All right, so now we're gonna enter the Odd Man Rush segment. I, co-host Nick, will be hosting it. This is the segment that usually talks about the news and notes from the NHL. It's supposed to take 30-second takes on these news and notes, but we usually go over to 3 minutes, mostly because of Junior, as you saw last episode. Um, there's a few things actually that happened this week. It was quite a busy week in the NHL. and we're gonna start off with somebody that deserves his dues. Um, I'm gonna start off with Patrick Kane hitting 500 goals. Okay, because it's not a feat that has occurred often, and the guy is still producing at this age. Junior, does he still have fantasy relevance for you?
Yeah,
For
of
those,
course. Sorry, I
I was
thought
gonna,
you weren't
I was
finished
gonna
your
add
thought.
more, but then I kind of lost my train of thought there. So
In a redraft league, I actually took him. I actually took him in our redraft league, and he's been doing quite well, honestly. Other than the fact that he was injured, but he's like 27 points in 31 games. Let me just pull that up here.
yeah,
He's
he's on
he's
a
pacing for
71.
seven. Yeah,
Yeah,
71 point pace is what I was getting at, and I'll take that any day, especially in cap leagues. 7 million, it's perfect.
Yeah, he's sixth in the all-time American goal scoring. I mean, Joe Mullen is in front of him, Jeremy Roenick, Keith Kachuk, Mike Modano, Brett Hall. I mean, these are just most all Hall of Famers. I mean, he'll beat Joe Mullen. Joe Mullen's 2 goals ahead of him. He might even get to Jeremy Roenick, who's 13 goals in front of him. So it's a huge feat, especially for a small guy like Patrick Kane, who survived this long in the NHL, even because of his size. I mean, he played on great Chicago teams also, but also when he broke into the NHL, it was never this wide open as it is now, right? So imagine him coming into the NHL like 3 years ago. He would have been ripping it apart with the new NHL and how wide open it is. So this is a huge feat for him, and congratulations to him on this.
Yeah,
yeah,
I agree.
absolutely, absolutely,
I
guys.
agree 100%.
You know, still at 37 years old, still relevant in fantasy circles. That's quite a feat. Um, Talking about
And
feats,
he's doing it in limited ice time too, by the way.
17
Not
minutes,
even.
just under
Yeah,
17 minutes.
yeah.
Talking about big feats, there was a World Junior Championship that I don't know if you watched it, Junior, but I definitely tried catching it at night when the kids went to bed on my phone, streaming it like little stream yard there. Um, Sweden wins the World Juniors. What are your thoughts on that tournament? Did we speak about Canada getting eliminated by the Czechs again?
No, because that game was going on as I was recording the episode. So
Oh yeah, that's right.
our last episode just had Canada losing in the second period to Czech.
That's right. That's right. So, Vince,
Yeah,
I'm not sure if did you actually catch any of the games or
yeah. I
did,
caught some of the games. Listen, anytime Canada is not in the finals, it's always a disappointment, and it's always people making a big deal that there's a problem with Hockey Canada and stuff like that. I mean, we said off the bat we thought the U.S. was the odds favorite because they had the most returnees from last year's team. I think the Trevor Connolly injury hurt them more than we think on that U.S. team. But after game one of Sweden, we all looked at Sweden and said these guys are for real. Also, like even Stenberger is for real. Anton Frandel taking the team on his back and going. So I mean, Sweden deserved it. They played well and they played consistent. Canada did not, and neither did the U.S. The only thing I'm going to say for Team Canada is that people have to remember Schaefer could have been on Team Canada. Sam Dickinson could have been on Team Canada. Celebrini could have been on Team Canada. Like, there's a lot of Canadian players that could have been on Team Canada that aren't because they're just too how do we say it?
Because they're
Too
already in the NHL.
yeah, not only already in the NHL, they're too important to their teams in the NHL for them to let them go to World Juniors. And I mean, Canada is to me the only country that had really high level players that couldn't play with them because of their NHL importance. So I think that was the big thing for Canada. I think goaltending in Canada is becoming a problem. It's not the first time we talk about it. It's like now I think it's 3 World Juniors in a row where we're talking about goaltending really like just needing a goalie to make an important save at the important times, and they don't. But Sweden, give them all the credit, man. They came into this tournament confident and they played well. Their backhand looked great and their goalie looked fantastic too. So, congrats to Sweden on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Sweden was dominant. So go ahead, Nick.
no, I was just gonna say, like, I thought the Czechs played a great game. I thought the Czech Republic played a very good game against Canada, and they played a good game against Sweden as well. Um, there's a couple of, like, Sweden had a superstar team, and they were my favorites to begin with.
Yeah.
I know Vince said USA was his favorite, but Sweden was my favorite from the beginning. And to be honest with you, I think that Sweden might even be my favorite for the gold medal in the Olympics coming up.
Oh
They have a
wow.
really strong team there too.
And
So
and the thing
yeah,
is, also, sorry, Nick, is that Finland brought Sweden to shootouts to get into the finals. So it's not like they had an easy path to go in there. Like Finland gave them all they had to get to
yeah.
the finals. So it was an interesting tournament, and in my opinion, Gavin McKenna just proved that why he's a number one overall pick next year.
Well, it's funny you say that because I actually wanted to point out a few players, and I think Ivar Stenberg was really impressive in this tournament. I think
Hmm.
McKenna was also. The thing with McKenna is that he was a little bit inconsistent. Like he didn't
Hmm.
take over games like we're used to seeing a Crosby take over a game or like Michael Celebrini perhaps. Or so I was a bit thrown off by that, even though he did get 14 points in 7 games. So maybe that's a good thing. But I also did want to point out how Cole Eiserman was very, very disappointing in this tournament. He's a returnee. He's a lethal shooter. He was there to be a goal scorer and really underperformed. So yeah, those are some things that stood out to me.
All right. Well, guys, moving on to back to the NHL. Um, TMZ co-host Junior here is talking about some drama again with the Ottawa Senators. I mean, at this point, Ottawa fans should just mute this guy. He clearly hates your team and tries to add TMZ news into all of our podcasts for Ottawa. Uh, but Junior, what did you have to say about the Ottawa Senators this time?
I didn't have to say anything. Someone else said the rumor was that Allmark took a leave of absence because he told his wife players would cheat on their girlfriends or wives on the road, and she told the wives, and it caused this whole mess apparently in Ottawa. Look, do you believe it? Do you not? I don't know. I mean,
I,
would
it,
it surprise me that these people cheat on their wives and their girlfriends when they're on the road? No, we've heard stories before. So, like, at the end of the day,
it
they were
was
struggling before this story came out, and now they're struggling even more after this story came out. But I do believe that there is a story behind the scenes that happened. Whether it's exactly that, I don't know. Because when something like this does come out and gets this much momentum, it stems from somewhere. It's not just a random guy or girl going on X for randomly and just saying that. That usually goes nowhere. So the fact that this actually went somewhere leads me to believe there's some kind of a story behind the scenes. Whether it's that accurate or not, I don't know. But
okay, but it
Ottawa's
went
struggling.
somewhere because Ottawa brought out a statement. I had no idea about this until Steven Stales put out a statement about it, and then I went looking into it, and the whole Allmark was telling his wife who was cheating. His wife told the other players' wives, and then Allmark's mistress called Allmark's wife saying that your husband's cheat. Like it's just the story is getting so like man, what's a forest fire right now? And Ottawa and Steven State throwing out that message that they did just intrigued people. So now people just went looking into the story
I
and
do
like
find it very odd that Ottawa even
a
like
hundred
took
percent. I
like even acknowledged these rumors.
Yeah,
Like if
ex-
it wasn't true, just let it go. Who
but
cares
that's
Yeah.
what
it.
people are saying on X?
Like even
So
the Twitter account that it was written on doesn't exist anymore. It was only active for 2 weeks.
Yeah, it was
so,
active
so
for two.
Elliot,
Let's say some random person said something,
Exactly.
and all of a sudden, Ottawa Senators, as a team, responded to it. Like that's nuts.
so that's why it's weird. It's weird for it to get this big from someone who just had an account for 2 weeks. But Elliot Freeman did say like they did that. The Senators did that because they wanted to show that they're standing up for their players. But like you guys said, I agree. I think you just amplified the situation even more.
Exactly.
And now Brady Kachuk now actually had to answer questions about it.
All
Your
of them.
players are answering these questions because you made a statement. So now it's okay for me to ask you a question about some bozo who had an account for 2 weeks who said this. It allows me to ask you the question. Whereas before, if you wouldn't have made a statement, maybe the media doesn't ask you about that kind of stuff. So
Exactly.
Yeah, it would have been swept under the
uh,
rug, and that's it.
guys, they're in trouble, man. They got to turn it around. I don't know what they're gonna do with goaltending. They signed Reimer for a PTO. He played
Wow,
with Belleville. He allowed 6 goals and like 26 shots or something, and they don't even have their first round pick. They opted to keep last year's first round pick and void this one for I don't know if it was I don't remember what it was about, but they lost their pick. The NHL took it away, so they have no pick for 2026 first round.
And Ottawa got a beating against Colorado this week, losing 8-2 on January the 8th. They got they lost again to Florida. Like it's just it doesn't look good right now for Ottawa. So I'm not sure what they're gonna do, but if they continue this way, like I think the goaltending right now, like Allmark, this whole situation with Allmark not being with the team, and again, we don't know the actual reason why he's not with the
Yeah.
team. It's they just said it's personal reasons. So at this point in time, you don't have Allmark. I don't know if you guys are making the playoffs.
yeah. Because they don't have a solid backup. And Junior was they got penalized for their role in the voided trade of Evgeny Nandinov.
Oh, Dadonov. Yes, yes.
So
Yeah,
they could have
Yeah.
chosen the 2024, 2025, or 2026 pick. They could have forfeited, and they forfeited the 2026 pick.
yeah. I mean, right
Uh,
now they're in the East. They're second from the bottom.
Yeah.
So
Well, guys, remember, Toronto was there what 2 weeks ago, so that East is very tight right now.
it's very tight.
So,
Yeah,
I mean, I think the last place team is 7 points from a wild card position. So the East, anything could happen within a month. Anything could happen in the Eastern Conference. So
true. Very
uh,
true.
we'll see if they could turn around. And they just need some saves right now. That's the most thing.
Like another team though that's struggling in my books has been the New Jersey Devils.
Oh man,
Like they've been struggling lately, and I think the player that's struggling the most is a $9 million defenseman in Dougie Hamilton. And we heard this week that his agent came out and said that they're not asking for a trade, but they're willing to be flexible with their 10-team no trade list that they have. So it sounds like they want out. They want a new fresh start for Dougie Hamilton, and it makes sense because he's been a healthy scratch. Meanwhile, Luke Hughes looks a little bit distraught out there sometimes, and then other times he looks great. Uh, Guys, like Dougie Hamilton might be the biggest disappointment of the NHL fantasy wise this year. Do we see a possible change of scenery? Do we see him bouncing back? I mean, Junior, what can you tell me about the stats when it comes to Dougie Hamilton?
there's not many. I can tell you that much. 10 points, 40 games. He's pacing for 21 points, which would be the least of his whole career. So it tells you a lot about where things are. He's shooting the puck almost 3 times a game. His shooting percentage is a bit low, but I think it's all mental in this case. You know, you were asked to move to waive your no trade clause. You declined. In fact, it was reported just a day ago or two. I'm not sure if you just mentioned it. I was a bit distracted, but there was a trade for him to go to San Jose, and
Mm,
he declined to go to San Jose. I think that was reported by Elliot Friedman, by the way. So yeah, like I know, there's reports out there basically saying now like Quinn Hughes has damaged the New Jersey Devils because it seemed like a sure thing that that's where he was going and that players were gonna get moved out of there in order to make space for him. And now it's like all hell broke loose and nobody's on the same page in that organization. So I think it's not just Hamilton suffering, but he is suffering the most probably out of everybody. Healthy
well,
scratch, by the way.
Yeah,
Yeah,
but that's where it started. It started that they were healthy scratching him. They advised him that they were going to healthy scratch him because Kovacevic was coming back. Got to the so that's where the agent threw out that message, that Twitter message, saying basically that this was a force out to force Doug Hamilton to because he has a 10 list trade team, and they wanted him to expand. He said he had said no, and now apparently he's ready to expand it to over 10. But this is all tactics from New Jersey Devils. New Jersey Devils, Hamilton is not in their plans anymore, and he's $9 million and getting 10 points so far. So they're trying to get rid of him, and unfortunately, the two times that they had a trade in place, he denied both trades. So I think this is a pressure tactic of basically saying, "Listen, we're gonna bench you. You're not doing well anyways, and until you accept to widen your horizon with other teams for trade." So he definitely needs to change the scenery. I think his time with New Jersey is done. Uh, I still think he can be fancy relevant once he gets traded, but right now he's just a dud right now.
yeah.
Those
So
no movement or no trade clauses, man.
Nah,
That kills me.
they're biting GMs in the bum, man.
Yeah.
New Jersey Devils, by the way, have the worst goal differential um, in the Eastern Conference. Just letting you know.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Sherwood Canucks far apart on contract extensions. What can you guys tell me about Kiefer Sherwood? And other than having a really cool name for a hockey player, what can we expect with Vancouver? I'm guessing they didn't find a trade partner for him, and that's why they're talking extension now.
But
Vince.
the Vancouver GM, I just saw it now on Twitter not so long ago. He
Mhm.
came out saying it's the start of a rebuild right now for Vancouver. So I'm guessing they were just pumping tires with Sherwood just to see what it would look like in extension, and realized that it was just too much and for them. And I'm guessing even the price for to trade him is a little high. That might lower soon. But yeah, their GM, if I'm not mistaken, I think David Pagnola had it, where he had the GM saying that it's the start of a rebuild in Vancouver, which could be very interesting.
Yeah, I that could just also be a tactic to say like we don't have to trade him, so we're contract negotiations, like you said. But yeah, look, this guy's gone like 6 games without a point. He's gone 8 games without a point. So he's obviously a very streaky player. He came out of the gates flying, like we mentioned quite a few times. So yeah, it's a tough situation. I think they kind of, if they're doing a rebuild, what does that mean for Elias Pettersson? What does that mean for Brock Besser? What does that mean for the Brusque? Like, there's a lot of players on that team that should be on their way out then if they're talking rebuild. So yeah, man, I didn't see it, Vince, so I'll take your word for it. But
I'm trying to check now where I can get it.
Sherwood basically in fantasy right now, he's like plug and play, and you cross your fingers that's the week he has a good week. Like I don't think in terms of fantasy that he's super
Oh yeah,
relevant. He does have some decent peripherals, but
yeah. We are transitioning into a rebuild here. Canucks GM Patrick Alvin. So there it is. Canucks are officially rebuilding. Can all of you shut up about this now?
Yeah,
So it's a
but
video.
what's your source?
It's a
Like
video.
who's? Oh, it's a video. Okay.
It's an interview that he's doing where look right there.
Is it AI generated?
Maybe you know what?
Because nowadays you can't tell anymore.
No, it's crazy. But Sportsnet has it with the Canucks firmly in the draft lottery sweepstakes. The fact that this matters is we're in a rebuild.
It
So
makes
they're
sense.
oh
quoting
yeah,
they're
Listen, it makes
quoting what they're
sense.
saying.
eh, it's his direct quote from Patrick Alvin. So and
Alvin.
it's the Canucks account. It's the Canucks account that posted this video.
So at the end of the day, who's going out in that team if it's a rebuild?
Well, I would love to see Elias Pettersson traded, but
Elias DeBrusque for sure. He's been benched a few times.
Besser too,
Scratched
likely.
Bester. I mean, you can't keep any of these guys if you're
Besser
going
just
to a
resigned,
rebuild.
so you got to keep him. You
My
can't
God.
you can't re-sign a guy for 5 years and then just trade him right after. It's not a good sign to Doesn't
Yeah.
look
Well,
good
he,
for
he
other.
he might say, you know what, if you're rebuilding, then you know what, I'm down to be traded.
Doubtful.
But
Anyways,
anyway.
look, talking about signing people, there was another contract extension, and that was Philip Broberg. And Philip Broberg was signed to an extension of 6 years, 8 million per year AAV. Now, I'm sure Darren Ferris, the agent, is very happy about that. But can we
What
like?
about co-host Nick GM? Is he happy about that?
It's a bit much. It's a bit much to tell you the
He's
truth.
he's
But
making 500,000 less than Lane Hudson.
yeah, now my question to you guys is: look, he's 24 years old, right? If they're giving him this money, is it because they think that he's going to be their top pairing player when Falk retires and Fowler retires, or like you don't give $8 million to a defensive defenseman, so they're hoping that he's offensive? Like, what am I looking here? Like, how should I feel as a fantasy GM that traded for this guy?
Um, you should be confident that he's going to get the opportunity to as a number one defenseman on that team. Because even if you look down the pipeline, they had Logan Mailloux, which hasn't had a very good start when they did call him up in the NHL. They have Adam Juracek, who had a great World Juniors, but I mean, still very young. So the only thing is you're just gonna have to wait till Justin Falk and Fowler just retire, or the coach finally gives Broberg that position, because right now Justin Falk is still on that PP1.
Right.
You know what, though? But like those names that you mentioned, it's not like we're talking like Kel McCarr's, Lane Hudson's, or
No,
Bouchard's. Oh, like those are names that you should easily be able to overcome if that's the type of player you're determined to be.
Right.
And look, the St. Louis, like, I don't think he's going to be a super fantasy relevant defenseman, to tell you the truth. He only has 9.6 power play percentage this year. Again, with a deep crop that is not elite offensively, if you want. I will say, like, he's a stable defenseman. The St. Louis Blues allowed the second most goals in the league, and he's an even. In plus minus, he's an even. So, I mean, his peripherals are decent. He plays a well-structured game, but in terms of fantasy, I don't know if he's going to be relevant. And if I'm you, I'm sick to my stomach with this contract.
I don't know. He was drafted 8 overall, so there has to be something there. Like I'd give this contract 2-3 years, and see if he ever get if he does when he does get the opportunity, if he runs with it.
Yeah, I
That's the
mean,
thing.
the way I'm seeing it is that he's playing 22 minutes of ice time per night, almost 23 right now. Um, they're trusting him, and look, Falk is long in the tooth. He is an older player. So is Cam Fowler. Right now, they're the power play one guys, which makes
Yeah,
sense why Broberg is not getting the power play time. But with power play time, I do believe that he could hit the 40-point mark. Um,
I,
he paced for 35 last year. He's pacing for almost 30 this year, and that's with no PP time. So we'll
I
see.
just want to add. I just want to add, like, St. Louis is 25th out of 32 in power play percentage. So it's not even to say they have a decent power play. So we're gonna play the defensemen that are doing well, or we're gonna switch. Like, he's probably had an opportunity and just hasn't been able to show it.
yeah.
Oh, he's averaging 26 seconds of power play time on ice right now. So that's going to be interesting. But again, like I said, if there's hope for the future.
Nobody does selling better than Shopify. Shopify is the home of the #1 checkout on the planet. And the not-so-secret with Shop Pay that boosts conversions up to 50%, meaning way less carts go abandoned and way more sales going through. So if you're into growing your business, your commerce platform better be ready to sell wherever your customers are scrolling or strolling. On the web, in your store, in their feed, and everywhere in between. Businesses that sell more, sell on Shopify. Upgrade your business and get the same checkout that Skims uses. Sign up for your $1 per month trial period for 3 months at shopify.com/Westwood1, all lowercase. Go to shopify.com/Westwood1 to upgrade your selling today. Shopify.com/Westwood1.
Confronting high credit card debt can feel scary. But the good news is, if you owe $10,000 or more in credit card debt, financial relief options are now available. National Debt Relief is currently offering debt relief designed to reduce what you owe, fast-tracking your way to being debt-free. If you qualify for debt relief, you may be able to pay back significantly less than what you owe and save thousands of dollars. Imagine only paying one low monthly program payment you can afford and saving money as you become debt-free. National Debt Relief has already helped bring debt relief to over 550,000 U.S. consumers, earning thousands of 5-star reviews and an A+ rating with the Better Business Bureau. You're stronger than your credit card debt. Take the first step and visit nationaldebtrelief.com to see what debt relief you qualify for. That's nationaldebtrelief.com.
Sure, I'm hoping. The good news with him is he's only 24 years old, so he can only get better from here, right? He's entering his prime very, very soon. We'll see. We'll see what happens there. All right. Talking about another defenseman who is quite young and making some sort of splashy name for himself and getting paid more than Broberg is Luke Hughes. Luke Hughes is on the New Jersey Devils, and there's been a lot of negative feedback from the fan base, let's just say, where they were actually booing him the other day. And then he comes back, I think it was today or yesterday, and he had a 3-point night again. So
A 2-point night today, 3 points in 2 games.
3 points in 2 games. So who is Luke Hughes? Because when I looked at I saw a tweet. I think it was from Dauber, or if it was from Victor Nuno himself. I can't remember. And basically, the tweet stated that this guy has all the skill, all the athletic tools, everything that you need, but his hockey IQ has always been lacking. And is that the reason why he's so controversial in New Jersey?
Well, he scored in his own net twice in one game. I mean,
Very true.
that makes it controversial also. And then when you hold out because you think you're worth $9 million and you get your $9 million and you're not producing like a $9 million, like I've said it from the beginning, you guys heard me say it. I think Nemec is going to be their number one defenseman on this team. Nemec is just a better all-around player defenseman than Luke Hughes. As much offense as Luke Hughes has defensively, he's a liability. And when you're a liability in defense, that means you won't be on the ice as much on close games, or when you're losing, when you're winning. Excuse me. When you're losing, you'll get more ice time. But he needs to fix his defensive awareness and mistakes, and it's something that before Nemec got hurt, I think he was playing 22 to 23 minutes a game. So at the end of the day, he's going to be good. Is he going to be a rich man's Gothenburg in the NHL? Maybe, but I still believe that Nemec is the guy who's going to be the catalyst on that New Jersey defense when the time comes to push, when it comes to push to shove.
I love how
I think they're very. Yeah, go ahead.
Vince, I love how you take these sayings
Push to shove.
and you just mess them up. You reverse the words though.
Yeah,
When
you see,
push comes
the
to
words are all
when
there.
push comes to shove.
When push comes to shove, there we go.
All right, Junior, go.
Yeah, I just think they're very similar players, Nemec and Luke Hughes. They're both types of players that they'll show you flashes and then they'll not show you anything, or they won't be that great in their own end, and then there's games they might be a little bit better. This is Luke Hughes, who he's going to be. I think within the 40 and 50 point range is where he might live, 40, maybe 55 at times, but I don't think he's going to be he's nowhere close to what his brother is, that's for sure, or any of his two brothers, actually. I think the expectations were high because of his name more so than his actual all-around skill.
Yeah, well,
and Hockey.
Nemec is just to give you an idea. Okay, Nemec is rostered 14% in Yahoo. Luke Hughes is rostered 81% in Yahoo. Um, Nemec was drafted second overall in 2022. Hughes was drafted fourth overall in 2021. Their size is almost exactly the same, 6'2" to 6'1". Their weight is almost exactly the same. Their age is almost exactly the same. They're both around 22 years old. They're only 4 months apart, to be honest, or something like that. Um, it's just interesting, and Luke is only pacing for what 44 points, right?
Yeah,
It's not anything to write home about for a $9 million defenseman, and Nemec is pacing for 45 points. So you're paying more than double the salary for Luke Hughes than you are for Simon Nemec, and they're just as productive. They're like copy and paste.
I guess we will have to wait and see. I think Nemec will be a better player than Luke Hughes.
Yeah,
And I don't
maybe.
know him anymore. I traded him, so.
All right. Talking about wait and see. Let's talk about the Winnipeg Jets.
Oh, man.
Ooh,
I went out and I made a huge trade, like one of the many that I made while on vacation, and it's not all because of the cervezas that I had. But I truly believe that this Winnipeg Jets team is struggling right now due to the fact that A, they never really replaced Ehlers when they lost him. B, they don't really have a pipeline of a lot of really good players coming into the NHL or ready for the NHL. And their core is aging. I don't see a lot of optimism right now for Winnipeg, other than the fact that the last few years they've been one of the best teams in the league. This year they're not showing that. So I went ahead and I traded away Hellebuck, and I got Lafreniere, who is 24 years old, obviously, and I got Mackenzie Blackwood, who has played only half the games that Hellebuck has played, and double the fantasy points in our LPHL league. But I want you guys to talk about Winnipeg. Is Winnipeg showing their true colors here, or is this just a blip in the matrix? Junior, go first, please.
I think they're showing the true colors because I mean, my bold prediction was they weren't going to make the playoffs. I've been seeing this coming for a while because, like you said, they're lacking depth. So if their stars are not really performing like stars, and Hellebuck is not elite, there's going to be some kind of a regression, and that's exactly what we're seeing now. I mean, Connor is still being Connor, 52 points in 44 games. Velarde has 40 points in 44 games. That's a big increase for him. That's a step forward for him. Shifley has 52 points in 44 games as well. So like their main guys are being their main guys, but when you have your second line center in the Mesnikov, 9 points in 43 games, that's not going to cut it for when Hellebuck can't be Hellebuck or isn't Hellebuck anymore. So look, Hellebuck, this is his worst save percentage in his whole career.
Yeah.
And he's at 901 save percentage, the worst he's had in his whole career. Look, there's going to be years like that. It's going to happen. Like you said, they just don't have the depth or the young guys in the system to come up and fill the holes that could get them by those lulls. And right now they're in a really big lull and they're trying to fight their way out of it. I'm just not sure they're going to be able to.
Yeah, I wouldn't give up on the Winnipeg Jets because I feel they're in the same status of when Montreal had Carey Price, except they're in a better status because their first line is much better than any first line Carey Price ever had in front of him. But if Carey Price went down, Montreal went down with it. It was just that simple. And with Winnipeg, that's what's happening right now. He was injured. He was out a few weeks. Everybody's saying he came back earlier than he did because of the struggles, and they're still struggling. So they need to find secondary scoring. I think the Ehlers loss was bigger than they thought it was going to be. I think they were hoping that Perfetti maybe was going to make that jump. Maybe Camel. Is it Camel or is it Lambert? Lambert.
Lambert.
Uh, and none of these guys did make that jump. So right now they're stuck with a phenomenal first line, but then three fourth lines right now the way they're scoring. So and a goaltender right now who can't save a base. So this year I think might just be a blip in the sky, you could say. We see another one, another saying.
Blip in the Matrix.
I say sky, it's better. Matrix, come on.
There's no blips in skies.
Of course
It's not a
there is.
blimp. It's a blip.
Shh, I make my own. Don't start me. No, but that's
This is
it.
why
So
you're entertaining.
yeah, but
Producer
that's it.
Vince's full of vocabulary.
Exactly. But I don't think Hellebuck will struggle for the rest of his contract. I think it's just 1 year
No.
he's struggling,
Yeah.
and the only thing is Winnipeg needs to realize, are they going to be a team that has an internal cap, or are they going to be willing to spend up to the NHL cap?
Okay,
And
so
that's
there's 2
where
points. Yeah, there's 2 points that I'm going to make there. So one guy you mentioned is Cole Perfetti. I was expecting much more from Cole Perfetti when I drafted him. He's 24 years old now. He's entering his prime. He does have 5 points in the last 4 games. So for you Perfetti owners, thumbs up for that. But he's still only on pace for 36 points in the year. That is not enough for a second line player and not enough for a top 10 draft pick in 2020. So hopefully this recent stats continue and he becomes somebody, but right now he just looks like a bad player. And when I traded away Hellebuck, a big thing about LPHL is that wins count for a lot in LPHL, and if Winnipeg's not winning, it's just not going to give him enough points to be fantasy relevant for me moving forward. And so I'm hoping Blackwood comes back soon. He was injured when I traded for him already. But I'm hoping he comes back soon and provides me some wins because Colorado just doesn't know how to lose. So we'll see. We'll see. Make sure that if you're selling him as a sunk cost Hellebuck, that you're willing to take the risk and make sure that if he bounces back next year, you're not going to shoot yourself in the head kind of thing.
I'm just curious to see if Braden Yeager can fight for that spot, the number 2 next year. Not having the great numbers, but that's a player that I'm intrigued about. I mean, we've seen Lambert on and off, and who hasn't quite taken advantage of the opportunity yet. He's still young, but I'm curious to see if next year Braden Yeager can make some noise, even though his numbers are not that great in the AHL.
Yeah, good point. All right, well, we had a new year. We had a countdown. It's not 2026. It's not 2025 anymore. And 11 days into the new year, which is my birthday, by the way. Thanks for mentioning it, boys.
we were going to mention after.
Hat-tricks,
Sorry.
12 hat tricks already in this year in 11 days. 12 hat tricks in 11 days. You have Austin Matthews, McDavid, Texier from Montreal somehow, Gunther, Zibanejad, Radish from Tampa Bay. What a great find this guy was this year. Regenda from Pittsburgh. I think Pittsburgh.
From San
right?
Jose. San
Jose. Yeah, no idea who this person is, so my apologies. Bertuzzi, Surdif from Washington, Duclair, Zaka, and I'm going to butcher this, Kuznetsov from Boston. I should have left that one for Vince. Guys, are we seeing like an uptick in goals because I don't know, is it an uptick in goals? What's going on right now? It's kind of crazy. 12 hat tricks in the first 11 days of the year. 2026 must be great, right?
I'll let you take it, Vin.
Listen, it's hat tricks. It's not like it's the surprising thing is not like big names. I mean, you have the Matthews, the McDavid, which you expect. Zibanejad, Ginter, But the rest of the guys are really second tier guys, which are getting them. So, I mean, good on them. But I don't see this trend going any further than it is now. I'm not expecting another 10 hat tricks in the next month.
Look,
Thoughts, Corey?
the goalies have been really struggling this year. Like if you go look at the save percentages, the top save percentages in the league, other than the Wallstedt, who's been great but doesn't play every game, him and Gustafsson. The same thing with Mackenzie Blackwood and Wedgwood. They have great save percentages but don't play every game. Most guys are struggling to make saves consistently. Like for me, a 9-10 save percentage or 9-13 save percentage is all right for Vasilevsky, but like I expect him in the 920s, 930s, right, usually. So it's been an off year for everybody, and the condensed schedule has a lot to do with that. And if you're not doing a 1A, 1B, where you could split starts and give your goalies rest, you're seeing the effects of it. It's more goals.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to argue with that. And I think that one of our friends of the podcast and commissioner of the Pebble League, um, listener Bats, had basically stated the same thing. He goes, we were complaining that goalies aren't making enough points in Lama, but he was basically saying the same thing. We're basing this on their performance, and nobody's really performing the way they used to. So it just might be an uptick in the NHL scoring, or it might be something changed in that regards. Like too many games back to back might be tiring them out more. But the goalies
Mhm.
this year are not performing the way that they were performing before. That's for sure.
Look how many times we have teams playing 5 games in a week. It's crazy.
Yeah, Edmonton this week. We'll save that for later. But I mean, another unicorn week for the Edmonton Oilers. Okay, there's a few people that got injured, so we'll just mention them right off the bat. You guys tell me which one of these is expected, which one of these hurts, which one of these doesn't. Demko IR, Rust day to day, Marchand day to day. Geeky left the game today, and
Yeah, today
Shesterkin
or
IR.
yesterday.
Shesterkin on IR for New York, and Fox on IR in New York. And if you guys could tell me about this.
I'm cutting ties with Demko. For me, it was already over for me. But like, if you didn't believe me then or didn't want to trust me then, I'm telling you now, Demko, cut ties with him. This guy just keeps getting injured, and he's on a bad team, and he's gonna keep getting injured. It's as simple as that. Like, if I wasn't already done with Demko, I'm officially done with him now.
Yeah, I mean, especially that the GM just came out that they're rebuilding, so I doubt it very much he'll be back this season, Nemco. So the other guys, it's Fox. I haven't heard about his injury in depth, so I don't know what's going on with
He came
Fox.
back
Yeah,
and
and
then got injured again,
yeah,
He
unfortunately.
got the
exactly.
flu from missing the Olympic, for not for missing the Olympics. He got the flu of a
Yeah.
very really bad virus for not making.
And the other guy I would say is Geeky is going to be a loss for Boston. He was on a hot streak, having a career year. So I mean, injuries can set you back a lot. So we'll see what happens when he comes back.
Was Geeky having a hot streak? Because I think Junior mentioned before off air.
No, not hot streak. Like a career year.
Oh, he was having a career year, yeah.
Yeah,
But he's been struggling lately. I think,
yeah.
right?
Yeah, I think we'll get to it in another topic, but he's had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 2 points in his last 9 games. No goals in his last 9 games as well. So
Mm, yeah, that
yeah,
hurts. All right. Next question for you guys here. McDavid extends his point streak to 18 games. I don't know if there's much commentary here to say. He is, if not the
He-
best player in the world, maybe the second best player in the world. Um, but that's an argument that we could have if you want. What can we talk about here with McDavid?
that he's going to hit the 170 points he said he was going to hit.
No, he's
Okay.
pacing for 142.
Shh. Wait. But Nick, it's McDavid. There's nothing to say. I mean, the question is how long can he go? Because he can go for 30 games. It's McDavid.
Hmm.
Now, imagine there was no Olympic break. Well, for him, it's not a break, but that might eat into his, especially if like the Edmonton Oilers are in a safe zone in terms of standings. He might take a game or two off when he comes back, or like they did with the Four Nations as well. So we'll see. It's such a weird year, man. Everything is upside down, but McDavid and McKinnon are still the best in the world.
Yeah. Hard to argue with that, to be honest with you. All right, guys. Carter Hart, another injury. Set to return is Aiden Hill. Does that mean Hart gets pushed out, or because Schmid has been doing pretty well? I don't know. Is it going to be a 3 goalie setup? What do we think Vegas is
Mm,
going to do with her goaltending moving forward?
I think Aiden Hill ends up being the starter and Carter Hart probably the backup.
Hmm.
I mean, they invested in Carter Hart. Now they have no choice. I don't think there's that much of a difference between him and Schmid that you couldn't keep him as your backup. So, yeah.
All
But
right.
I don't think he'll be the starter when Aiden Hill comes back.
No, yeah, exactly. I agree with Junior.
All right. Some good news came when Connor Bedard did come back into the lineup for Chicago, and Seth Jarvis, another good news, came back in the lineup for Carolina. Uh, what do you guys feel about, other than the fact that this is news? Did Chicago really miss Bedard?
You think?
Yeah, it was. It was. You couldn't even watch those games. I feel.
No, yeah, he's the pillar on that team, right? So he's gonna drive that team, and uh, I'm not saying he's gonna push them to a playoff berth, but he does good with that team. Frank Nazar is also out, so when he comes back, I mean Oliver Moore has had a good stretch with them. But he'll help the team. I mean, there's nothing else to say. And for Jarvis, the only thing that worries me about Jarvis, he's been on and off all the time, injured, not injured, injured, not injured. So it's a little bit worrisome of is he coming back too early? That's why he's getting re-injured. So the only question I would be about Jarvis.
All right. Bigger downfall. This is for Junior because this is a Junior type question. Bigger downfall. John Carlson or Morgan Geeky? Who has fallen off the face of
Leo,
the planet?
Leo Carlson, you mean?
Leo Carlson, sorry. Leo Carlson or Morgan Geeky? I'm pretty sure Leo Carlson is on a milk carton somewhere, right?
Yeah, he got a goal and assist last game against Buffalo, but he had gone 10 games without a point prior to that. And it's funny because he was like on pace for 100 points. Remember, he was like top five in scoring, and now he's pacing for 80 points. So you see, it could change so fast in this league. It's absolutely crazy. But that
Yeah.
just goes to show how good he was when he came out of the gates flying. So, excuse me. I'd say Leo Carlson. We actually did a little funny post on our socials, and it got a lot of traction. A lot of people were telling me or telling us how like they sold high on him at the right time, right before like at his peak, right before his downfall, and they were telling us what kind of trades they did and stuff. So that was cool. But yeah, that's why I put this question in because I wanted to reference our social media post. I got some good traction.
Very nice. And that pretty much does it for the Odd Man Rush.
No, do we have
Dun, dun, dun,
no
dun, dun,
music?
dun, 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 dun.
Odd man rush.
Odd Man Rush.
We're terrible singers.
All right, now from a word from our sponsor. Jaw-dropping moments that make hockey hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me state. New customers, this one's for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins. In partnership with DraftKings, the crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 8777-8-HOPE-NY or HOPE-NY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly. On behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas, pass-through of per-wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms and responsible gaming resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer. Copyright NHL 2025. All rights reserved. Come on, that's the fastest I've ever done it.
You struggled a bit, but it
Congrats.
was good.
Did I struggle?
How about
My mouth is
How
going
about,
dry in the middle of that.
how about this soundbite? PBLL.
Oh boy.
Oh man.
I think we're better off not having that fight.
PBLL.
Partial breakaway. Listener league.
Listener league.
That Nick.
That Nick affectionately calls Pebble, but nobody cares.
All right, big congratulations to Commish Listener Bats 3, who absolutely blew everybody out of the water with 157 points this week. In second place, none other than the Commish Listener Bats 1 with 143 points. So he rounded up the top two. We'll go take a look quickly at his first team. Here, let's take a good look at this.
Did any of us do anything, or?
So you and my two teams were 11, 12, and 13 this week.
Oh wow!
So yeah,
Not bad. Out of 40-something teams.
Not bad, not bad. We need weeks like that to try to get back up. So just to look over his team very quickly, he had Vejmelka and Nets at 8.67 fantasy points per game, 3 wins. Macklin Celebrini, 7.38 fantasy points this week. Nick Schmaltz, 4.8. Kyle Connor, 3.6. Clayton Keller, 4.8. Dorofeev, 3.9. Marchenko, 4.9. Lane Hudson, 2.9. And Matthew Schaefer, 1.3. So the theme here was Utah Mammoth, because he had Schmaltz, Keller, just Schmaltz and Keller. That was his duo. But look, I think Celebrini and Lane Hudson and maybe even Schaefer have become almost fixtures in everybody's lineup at this point. Their contracts are too good and they just keep producing. Before we move on, let's move on to the schedule. We've got another unicorn, as Nick mentioned earlier on. This time it's the Edmonton Oilers playing 5 games, and their 5 games are versus the Chicago Blackhawks, the Nashville Predators, the New York Islanders, the Vancouver Canucks, and the St. Louis Blues. So I can guarantee you 90% of the rosters will have at least McDavid or some combination of McDavid, Draisaitl, and Hyman or Nuge or whatever. So, and honestly, I don't blame them. If McDavid's going to play an extra game this week, you're damn right you're going to put him in your lineup. But we'll get to that a little later. Other teams playing 4 games this week. The list is a little smaller than usual. Buffalo, Carolina, Dallas, Detroit, LA, Montreal, Ottawa, Philadelphia, Seattle, Tampa, Toronto, and Vancouver. Teams to stay away from: the Colorado Avalanche, they're playing only 2 games. And the San Jose Sharks are playing 2 games. So do you still want to start Celebrini or McKinnon in a pool like this, where I think that'll be interesting to see what you guys have to say about that. Strength of schedule. The Boston Bruins have the hardest schedule. The Pittsburgh Penguins have the easiest schedule. They play the Tampa Bay Lightning, the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Columbus Blue Jackets. In terms of teams playing 4 games, these are the teams that have the easiest schedule: Toronto, Philadelphia, Dallas, and Tampa Bay, and the Montreal Canadiens, actually. So you have a plethora of options this week, whether it's ELC contracts or big name players having good opportunities to get a lot of points. Guys, take it over. Start with you, Vince, since Nick hosted the last one. What's your objective? What's your plan for this week?
My plan is to just McDavid and Draisaitl and then just fit everybody else around that has 4 games. All ELC contracts around there to have 4 games. I mean, this is an opportunity that comes once in a lifetime where Edmonton's playing 5 games and they're not playing very strong opponents. They're playing Chicago, Nashville, Islanders, Vancouver, St. Louis. I mean, whoever doesn't dress McDavid, Draisaitl, or any Edmonton players, I mean, are just not meant to be in this league.
Jeez, that's strong words.
Yeah, 100%.
Nick, what's your plan?
You don't agree, Nick? Are you going to be the one saying, I don't want to do what Vince says, I'm going to do something else?
Well, in my lineup this week, I have McDavid, Nugent Hopkins, put Colson. So that's 3 Edmonton players right off the bat. I put Kiefer Sherwood because contract negotiation, maybe he's going to do something, right? Maybe this is the week. Then I have Zach Hyman, Matt Savoie, Matthias Ekholm. That's 3 more Edmonton
Jesus.
players. Lane Hudson, because I needed a cheap contract. And Dustin Wolf. Not because I needed a cheap contract for Dustin Wolf. I actually think he has a very easy schedule this week for Calgary. And I basically picked them to be my starting goalie. So, yeah. That's my lineup for my Zeus team this week.
Vince, I am one of those people who didn't take an Edmonton player in one of my teams. I had a few teams that I liked this week. So on one team, I did take McDavid and Hyman. I left it at that, and I took Connor Ingram. I think Connor Ingram could be a good play this week. He's guaranteed 2 games because they got 2 sets of back-to-back. At only $1.95 million, I think that's a good goalie to have this week. But since you guys spoke mostly about the Oilers, I'll tell you about my junior team. I like Connor Bedard this week. He's coming back from injury. He's probably going to come out flying. I like the Toronto Maple Leaf schedule, so I got Tavares and Nylander.
Are your earphones dying, Junior?
Yes, they are.
Yeah.
Because we hear the click, we hear the countdown.
It's counting down?
No, but now it's better. Go.
Okay. So I also like Buffalo. I took Josh Doan and Alex Tuch. Every time I talk? Okay, hold on. Okay, I'll change it in a second. But Alex Tuch, Josh Doan, and Braden Hagel and Darren Radish. Basically, I focused on Toronto, Buffalo, and Tampa for this team.
Look at that. Done right before his earphones die.
I'll let you guys close the show in case my earphones die. I'll change them.
No worries. Nick,
well, if you guys stayed this long, what?
Anything to add this week?
No, I was gonna say if you actually sat here and stayed this long, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, hit that little bell button on YouTube, make a comment. Talk to us about who you think is going to have the best week this week. For us, it's very important that you guys support us, obviously, because it helps grow the podcast, but also because of the fact that we don't have any equipment anymore. So we could use some support and some thumbs up to make us feel a little bit better about
And also,
this.
we want to try to hit a milestone here. Let me see what I have here. Give me 2 seconds. Am I not following us? Impossible. Oh, yeah, I am. Let me see something. Okay, so this is where I was getting at. No, it wasn't. Here. So we're at 191 subscribers on YouTube. So we just need 9 more. We just need 9 more to hit a good milestone of 200. So, I mean, we just told you we lost all our equipment. Just like, subscribe, and just make us reach 200 if possible.
Make us feel better, ladies and gentlemen. Make us feel better.
And there's no outro music, so we're just gonna say farewell. Actually,
Yes.
wait, there's a dad joke that has to be done now.
Yeah, and meanwhile, while you're looking up the dad joke, I'm just going to mention the fact that,
Hello?
yeah, we hear you. Slightly. So we'll mention the fact that, guys, if we didn't say Happy New Year yet, Happy New Year. All the best to you and your families. I know it's 11 days in, but Vince and I were on vacation last week. So wishing you guys the best for 2026. I know it's going to be a big year, so.
And Nick, happy birthday to you! And because it's your birthday, this is my gift to you. What does a baby computer? What does a baby computer call his father?
I don't know.
Data. Data.
These are getting worse and worse.
Happy
Vince,
birthday,
come on.
Happy birthday, Nick.
All right, thank you. Thank you, guys. Thank you, everybody. Have a good day.
If you like the show, please take a moment to rate, review, and subscribe. It really does help the show to grow. Thank you for listening.